welcome to the second episode of You Grieving Girl. I'm Nikki, and I'm going to talk to you today about relationships. During my journey, I've had many of my relationships change drastically. I don't think that it's talked about enough, if at all. We constantly hear about how we can support a person while they're grieving, but we don't discuss how our relationships change during grief. The first time I encountered a relationship change, it shook me to my core. My mother had been gone a few months, and I had a family member make demands for some of my mother's belongings. There was no, "Hey, how are you? I've been thinking about you and your dad. I just wanted to check in." They just straight out said, "I want this, this, and this." It was a demand. Now, understandably, I was shocked, especially since this person had been missing in action the 3 years my mother was ill. They never took the time to visit her or call her, but suddenly it was, she would want me to have this. When I declined, they became rude and nasty. They had several choice words for me, and I had to make the choice to step away from the relationship. Now, I hate to say it, but it really has troubled me even now, and it's been 4 years since almost. And I was hurt and I was angry. My father was struggling with the loss of his mate, and here I had people begging me. We felt isolated. We wanted these people who were begging to mourn with us. We thought we could count on them. And that's when I realized that sometimes you just can't count on people. Even after a few years, people will show you who they are. It's not always evident. For example, my dad died recently. And people that I felt like I could depend on, people who've been through various ups and downs, suddenly felt like strangers. They were there as I mourned my mother. But now suddenly I felt like a burden. And it wasn't just a feeling. Some of these people made me feel like a burden. They said things to me. My grief was rushed. When I lost my grandmother, it was like, oh, life moves on, get over it. They said these things to me in a very nonchalant way. And I had a moment through my fog that I realized that I needed to take control of my life. I wanted to surround myself with positivity. But I know from experience that I had to let my grief run its course. My grief is on display, but not in a traditional way. I've been shell-shocked. My life hasn't gone back to normal. I can't have people in my life that are trying to force me to be normal or what they thought normal was. So I had to make changes I wasn't necessary for. And, they realized that I was changing, but they didn't want to adjust. So I had to pump the brakes. My need for space has been met with confusion, anger, bitterness, and I guess hurt on their part. I just saw understanding, but I've been met with a brick wall in some instances. But I learned years ago with the loss of my mother that I have to be gentle with myself and take my time. But I try to share that, but that understanding hasn't always been where I need it to be. For me, with people, when they dismiss my grief, they don't realize that it's more than just missing my mom, my dad, my grandmother. It's about missing things to yet to come. My parents won't ever see me meet my future husband and get married. They won't see my future child, maybe. I can't just pick them up when I'm sad. These people don't understand what it's like to inherit somebody else's problems, manage an estate. They don't realize that grief is more than sadness. It's anger, disappointment, hurt feelings. So I want to say to you that if you are with people who downplay your feelings of grief, you're not crazy. You need to take care of yourself. Remember, you're the one who can help you through this. You don't need someone to try to solve your problem. Sometimes you need people who will just make your life brighter. If you notice a change in your relationship, try to teach the other person how they can help you. Be clear and let them know how they can support you. Be confident and speak up. They'll either rise to the occasion or they won't. Look, I had to share this with you because I want you to understand that it's okay if your relationships are different. You've joined a club that eventually everyone will join, but until they join it, they aren't going to understand your feelings. You're not obligated to stay in You're not obligated to stay in toxic relationships. You need to take care of you. People who care about you will make adjustments. This is a difficult season in your life, and you need to focus on positive things. Your Get It Girl guidance from me today is to take care of yourself. Follow your instincts. Fight for you. You're in a tough situation. Don't be afraid to make tough choices. Even when everything is crazy, your body is what's important to you. Take care of your body. Do what you need to do to make your days a little bit easier. Don't feel like you have to just keep on because you've known somebody for a long time or they're a relative. No, you need to take that time to really take care of you, because you get one body. Your mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being are vulnerable right now while you're grieving. So you need to do what's right for you and take care of yourself. I hope me sharing this with you has provided you with some kind of what words am I looking for? Understanding, and hopefully you know what to expect. If you're dealing with this right now, just know that you're not alone, and just look for those relationships that really are meaningful to you, and be gentle, because everyone won't always understand. But if they really care for you, they will work to understand and take care of you. So with that, I want to thank you again for joining me today as I talk about relationships with you and how they change. Make sure that you subscribe. If I've helped you in any way, feel free to share this with other people, but just be gentle with yourself.